Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, as promised, we're doing the attachment style quiz. I believe I said last episode that I was going to sit down. I don't know why I'm talking so British. Like, I am British, but I feel like I'm talking like the Queen for some reason. But yeah, last episode, I think I said I'm going to sit down and do the attachment style quiz. And the reason that I wanted to do this is because I did this quiz about maybe 4 or 5 years ago when I started getting interested in self-development, self-improvement, and wanting to understand myself a bit more. I did the quiz, I read the book Attached, and I was very obviously an avoidant. I kind of didn't really need a quiz or a book to tell me that. I was like, I'm quite obviously an avoidant, right? Also, at least I thought. Actually, to be fair, the quiz did reflect that. I'm pretty sure the quiz was like, yeah, you're an avoidant. However, like, your attachment style, I feel like, does change slightly depending on the dynamic you're in, right? If you're in a relationship with, for example, someone who I actually feel like it's going to be more helpful if I just quickly say what they all are, because just in case you're listening to this and you're like, I need fucking context, maybe that would be better to do than just start talking about it. So I've got in front of me on, let me fucking check this website, personaldevelopmentschool.com. This is where I'm going to do the quiz as well. There were so many fucking attachment quizzes coming up, and so many of them you have to pay for. So this one's free because I'm not being funny. I'm not fucking paying. It's a quiz. Why am I paying? Why am I paying for a quiz? Okay, quickly, let's go over it. So if you are anxiously attached, relationships will often make you feel anxious, unsafe, or insecure because you likely have a subconscious fear of abandonment. As a result, you seek more closeness in your relationships and can feel afraid if you feel a sense of a loved one pulling away, right? So think more clingy, more kind of hypervigilant partner, right? And the thing is, like, I wouldn't say that I'm super like that. I feel like that's not really my natural state. However, I have experienced that. That's the thing. I don't think anyone is like 100% one of these things. It's kind of like the love languages, right? Where you're kind of a little bit of everything, but you have a more dominant one, you know? And that's never been my dominant one. I've had moments. This is the thing that I was saying about it depends on your dynamic and the relationship you're in. Because if you're with someone, for example, that's really inconsistent or making you feel on edge and stuff, then you might start acting like this. You might start acting anxious and clingy, and that might not be your natural state, but it is right now, you know? I've definitely had that where for like a period of time, because of the situation I'm in, I've been more anxiously attached, but that's not like my natural state, I wouldn't say. Okay, moving on to the fearful avoidant. If this is you, relationships can feel chaotic, confusing, and overwhelming because you swing between being avoidant and anxious. Depending on the relationship, you can shift between being hot and cold, often feeling confused about your feelings, right? From my knowledge, I haven't researched attachment styles for a while, but I did quite heavily research them a while ago. I think from my knowledge, this is a very small percentage of people that are actually fearfully avoidant. I think another term for this is disorganized attachment. If there's any therapists listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this comes from like extreme trauma, right? Obviously, we can all be a little bit hot and cold and a little bit confused about our feelings, but that doesn't necessarily, put you in this category. I believe this is like actually quite an extreme, uncontrollable level of hot and cold, right? I could be wrong. Who fucking knows? The next, I could fucking Google it. I'm on a laptop, but I'm not going to do that. Next one, dismissive avoidant. Again, my interpretation is this is more of the general avoidant. Like fearful avoidant is a bit more extreme, a bit more like, whoa, you're one end of the spectrum, and then whoa, you're the complete other end. What the fuck is going on? Dismissive avoidant to me is more of like a general avoidant. So if you're avoidantly attached, intense emotions can feel overwhelming and can cause you to pull away from others. You may find yourself withdrawing from arguments or triggering situations. This need for independence can cause challenges in your relationship and inner conflict for you because deep down you do want to connect with others. Yeah, so this to me is like basic avoidant attachment, right? You do want closeness with people. I'm not even going to go into like fucking depth about what they all are because that will take ages, and that's like, we can all do our own research. Basically, fucking Google it yourself. But yeah, this is more like general avoidant, like big emotions, closeness, vulnerability kind of put you off. It's not that you don't want to be those things. You don't want to be close and vulnerable, but it freaks you out so much. You're almost so protective of yourself that you kind of self-sabotage these things, right? That's kind of what, to me, avoidant is. And like being so focused on being independent and like being terrified basically to let people in and lean on them and like be vulnerable and open. Right. And the last one is secure attachment. If you're securely attached, this one's quite self-explanatory. You often feel comfortable and at ease in relationships. You're also good at communicating your needs and feelings and feel open to vulnerability in your relationships. However, sometimes you can experience difficulty when relating to those who aren't as secure in relationships. So this is basically, you're fine. Boring. You're securely attached. You don't have any fucking problems. But this is the thing. Again, I think these you sway probably more towards one as your natural kind of temperament. However, depending on the dynamic you have with, say, your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whoever the fuck, it can alter it. You know, secure attachment can be gained from being in a secure, stable relationship for a long period of time. That can make you more securely attached over time, you know, as it would. And then say that relationship ends and you get with someone who's like all over the place. Maybe that'll fuck with it. Do you know what I mean? That I don't think they're like super set in stone, but I do think we naturally have more of a, you know, inclination to be one of them. And mine has always been a bit more avoidant. However, like I was saying in my last episode, I feel like I used to be very, I don't know, like I definitely acted in avoidant ways, and I definitely still do sometimes, but not to the same extent whatsoever. I have very much kind of grown up since this, I think. However, like when I was like in my first like relationship or even like my second relationship, I think I was very hyper focused on being independent, and I did find it really hard to be open. And I was kind of like, I don't know, just kind of a little bit all over the place. Like either like we're really, really close or I kind of forget you're there. Like I was kind of just all over the place, as you would be, you know. I was like, being in a relationship is scary. And when you've not done that as well, it's even more scary because there's a lot of unknowns. And I think that caused me to be very avoidant. I also think, though, this is the thing, my dynamics in those relationships, those people were both very anxiously attached, right? Which pushed me to be a bit more avoidant too. Not to blame anyone, obviously, like no one's at blame here. It's just a dynamic between people. But I do think I was with people who were more on the clingy side, more on the intense, a bit smothery kind of side, which I think is definitely a big role as to why I was a little bit like I'm more inclined to like go on Do Not Disturb and go see my friends because it's freaking me out. But it's kind of like, it's hard to know whether it's you know, the environment you're in and the person that you're with that's making you act this way, or if you just need to kind of sort yourself out. You know, it's hard to know really where it's coming from. And that's why it's helpful to learn more about it and do the quiz and read the books and all that. So you can kind of work out where do the problems start, right? Are they starting from me or are they starting from this relationship? And I think that's as well, like over time, the more people that you kind of date and are with and things like that, the more you kind of work out what part is you, because you're like, okay, this is a common theme. Right. And I do think being avoidant has been a common theme for me. However, like I'm 22, like, you know, I'm not like, fuck knows really. I'm still, you know, still fucking young and don't really know shit about a lot of stuff. So like keep that in mind. But in my experience with myself, which obviously I do have, obviously, what the fuck, is that I do have a tendency to, I don't know, find relationships scary and find vulnerability quite difficult and find independence very easy and very comfortable, right? You know, and I definitely still can, like, when something's triggered in me, like, act in an avoidant way, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I think I'm a lot more, like, tapped into what's going on, and I don't know, a lot has changed. I think I'm a lot less immature in the sense of, like, when I was younger, for example, if say like there was an argument and I didn't want to have it, I would just put my phone down and like just not have it. Do you know what I mean? I would just fuck off and do something else. That is the epitome of avoidant. Like you can't have a healthy relationship and do that. And I don't think I was thinking this way. Obviously, when I was 16, I was just thinking like, I don't want to do this. Whereas now, I think I'm more aware of like, I want to be healthier. I want to have a healthy relationship. I want to be a good partner. And that's not doing that, you know, even if I don't want to have a conversation or an argument or whatever, I'm a lot more inclined now to just express that and be like, I'm not in the fucking place. I think we should come back to it. Like, if I really don't want to have it, do you know what I mean? I'm not just going to go on do not disturb and like be ghosting people or be like just fully avoiding, like no communication, no nothing. I'm not like that. And I was never that bad, to be honest. I think I'm probably exaggerating and like painting it worse than it was. But, you know, I was like 16, 17. Like, what do you expect? Do you expect a really emotionally mature fucking person? No. And that's the thing. My partners at the time were also obviously not that emotionally mature because they're also 16, 17. So it's just kind of a mess. However, now, yeah, like still if something comes up, I'm a little bit more inclined to take the more mature route just because I know that long term I want to have a happy, healthy relationship. And I just know there's certain things that just don't fucking get you that. And like being really avoidant, dodging difficult conversations, like not being vulnerable ever, they're not the ways to do that. And even though it is difficult, and like I'm not saying I'm like really fucking good at any of that, I'm like more aware of it at least, and I'm better at it, and I will at least communicate like if I'm finding something difficult, right? So fucking ramble. There's some context about why I'm taking this quiz because I haven't taken it for a long time. I feel I've become a lot less avoidant. I really do. However, my bet is on the fact that this quiz will tell me I'm still avoidant. Okay? So let's begin. I can be very emotionally present with others, friends, family, partners, strangers, but it takes me a while to build trust and share vulnerable things about myself. True or false? That's the thing. Like, I do find vulnerability difficult in certain situations, but I'm also like a very open book, and I don't really have like major trust issues either. Like, I'm not like super skeptical of people. Like, I am quite a fucking yapper, as you would expect. They're like, I don't know. I'm gonna say yes, because like being vulnerable is something that does make me uncomfortable. Okay, next. I often put other people in my life on a big pedestal. I don't think I do that, to be honest. I think I'm pretty like realistic about things. I'm aware that no one's actually like no one on earth belongs on a pedestal ever. Okay, next. I feel naturally comfortable and safe expressing my feelings and needs to loved ones. No. That's more what I mean. Vulnerability, when I'm saying I find it hard, this is kind of the type I mean. Like expressing my needs to people and being vulnerable in that way, like so scary to me for some reason. I'll do it, but like fucking hell, like it will take me a while. So false. I feel very upset when others infringe on my need for space or alone time. Oh my God, true. That's like no brainer. I do. I really value my alone time. We've talked about this probably 708 times on this podcast. However, my alone time is so fucking necessary. That is probably not even probably, definitely one of the main things that like, you know, when I was single, I was like, I can't be in a relationship with someone who doesn't respect that, who doesn't have a life, right? I work quite well with people who are busier and have, you know, hobbies and friends and like like just shit to do. Do you know what I mean? Because I like to do my own things sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Not all the time. Obviously, I also like to see my friends, see my family, go to work, but like I do also need a decent chunk of alone time because I'm introverted. I need to fucking charge my battery, right? I need time alone, otherwise I go mental. And that's just my personality. That I've had it before where I've kind of been in relationships with people who don't, oh my God, I thought there was a fucking spider on my arm. Ugh. Yeah, where I feel like the other person doesn't necessarily, like they lean on me a bit. They don't really have a lot going on outside of the relationship. And that to me is so suffocating. I love when it's like, oh, what are you doing today? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to work and then I'm seeing a friend and blah, 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 and then I'll be back at like 7. I'm like, fucking perfect. Because then I get to go to work, get some things done that I need to get done, have a bit of alone time, and then you're home. Perfect. I'm like, now I'm in the mood. But I can't have someone around me all the fucking time. I'm not even just talking about a relationship. Now, I was, but yeah, I guess just like anything, like to me, having alone time is kind of like a non-negotiable. And I know that everyone needs alone time, but for me, it really is like a big chunk of who I am. I fucking need it. So yeah. Okay, next. I'm willing to work through challenges in a relationship before suddenly trying to leave the relationship itself. I think that's definitely true. I am not someone who instantly wants to like dip when things are hard or like can't be fucked when like, this is the thing. Maybe I used to when I was younger and more immature and like probably wasn't that really into the people anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're younger, it's kind of like, it doesn't feel as serious. So probably, yeah. However, no, I think I'm quite, I think if I really want to be with someone, I'm like very willing to work through shit and like make a lot of effort. So true. I keep thinking I'm going to press the wrong one. Okay. Next, I tend to be out of touch with my emotions quite frequently. I would not say that's true. I think I'm very in touch with my emotions. I think I make quite a lot of effort to be on the same page with myself. That is probably a strong suit of mine. My relationship with myself is very good. There's flaws, obviously. There's things that like I'm working on, but like I generally try to go through life being my own friend and like making sure I'm looking after myself and doing the things I need to feel good. And like if I'm stressed, like doing what I need and what's good for me. Like I prioritize my relationship with myself. So like I try not to be like fucking clueless about what's going on in my brain. So I'm going to say false on that one. Okay, next. I am very attuned to others' needs and often put them before my own and then resent it later. Fuck. That is also kind of me though, because I do that. And I used to be such a people pleaser. Oh my God. Again, not that bad. Like I'm quite proud of my like fucking personal growth. Now I'm talking about this because I'm like, I really did used to be so avoidant and so like spineless. And like I remember once I had to like cancel a plan with a friend because I think I was actually like feeling like shit. And this was like years ago. And I literally was like bawling my eyes out to my mum because I was like, I hate fucking cancelling on people. Like I feel so bad. I feel so awful that like I want to just go. And she was like, it's not that deep. Like you never really cancel. You're like reliable. So it's not like, you know, oh fuck this again. Those people that always cancel. It's not like that. People get it. You don't normally do that. It's fine. You're allowed to be ill. What the fuck? And I was like bawling my eyes out. I don't do that anymore. Do you know what I mean? That like I am a bit more like fucking reasonable at this point. But yeah, I used to be so bad with stuff like that. But I still, I'm attuned with others' needs and put them before my own and resent it later. I feel like I can do that, but I don't do it all the time. That's the thing. Like I'm not like naturally doing that all the time. I think I'm kind of in the middle. I do that and then I also like make an effort to look after myself and level it out at some point. I'm not just gonna like build resentment, like abandoning myself forever. Like I'm not gonna fucking do that. Shit, what do I answer? Okay, I'm gonna say yes because I do frequently do that. So I'm gonna say yes. Okay. I constantly want to be emotionally closer to my partner. This can also apply to my close friends or romantic interests. Emotionally closer. I guess that's true. Like that's the thing, like deep down, I guess that's true. Like it's nice to be emotionally close. It is, but like I'm not like gagging for it 24/7. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not like constantly like, oh my God, what you're doing? Like what you're thinking? Like, oh my God. Like I'm not smothering anyone. But like it's nice to be emotionally close. Like I don't fucking know how to answer any of these questions. Okay, I'm gonna say yes because I do really value like being close with people and feeling like connected to them. Right? I do really value that. But I just feel like this quiz, if I say yes, is gonna take that as like you're so anxiously attached you can't leave people alone. But that's not what I mean. But I'm gonna say true anyway. Oh my God, if this tells me I'm anxiously attached, I'm not being funny. That's just not true. Like it's just not. Okay. Next. I am effective at compromising and communicating. Fuck, am I? Shit, this is something that like I've been working on. I have been working on. I don't think I'm the worst at it, but like I am effective at it is like quite confident. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say false. I try my best. I'm not that bad at it, but I'm not confidently like, yeah, I'm so effective at that. You know, it's like, it's an area that like takes work right now. Okay, next. And by that, by the way, I mean like compromise. Like I am like, sometimes I really just want to do what I want to do. Sometimes I'm really not good at compromising, but again, working on it. Anyway, next. It's very difficult for me to set boundaries unless I'm angry. I can sometimes set excessive boundaries and push people away too dramatically out of anger. That is me. That is very me. I am very protective of myself. And I think if someone's really, really upset me or really, really annoyed me, I do get extremely protective of myself. Like if I'm really hurt, do you know what I mean? I am very like, my brain gets very dramatic about it and like almost flips into like drama mode. Like we need to do like the last resort right now. Like everything's fucked. Do you know what I mean? When like, if I calm down and I like do something just chill or like have like a half hour to myself to just like sort my life out, sort my mind out, I'm a lot more reasonable. But when I'm actually hurt and upset, yeah, my brain is so fucking dramatic. So yeah, true. Okay, if I notice my partner showing any sign of coldness, I panic and want to get closer as quickly as possible. This often happens to me in friendships as well. This really depends on like Why are they being cold? You know? If they've like annoyed me and I've annoyed them and we're both being cold, then no, like you've annoyed me. Do you know what I mean? Like, then we're both gonna be cold. But I guess if it's like I don't really know why, maybe I need to remember to be like really, really honest in these answers. Like, I don't want to be like kind of sugarcoating it and being like, oh yeah, true, when it's not, because I want an actual answer. I just know if I say yes to this, it is just going to tell me I'm anxiously attached. Of course it will. That is the example of being anxiously attached. Is like any shift in your partner's mood and you're like fucking freaking out that they don't like you anymore. And that's not what I'm like. But I know if I say that, it'll fucking put that into the system and tell me that. Okay, as much as that can be true sometimes, I'm going to say no because it's not like all the time. And I just need to fucking pick something or I'm never going to finish this quiz. Okay, it's not uncommon for me to experience inward emotional turbulence throughout the duration of my romantic relationship. This applies to close family members as well. Inward emotional turbulence. I would say that's true because like I am someone who thinks a lot and like I'm a bit of like an anxious person. So I used to be way worse about this, but now it's still sometimes. Oh, fuck. Is it? Sorry, this is probably like actually painful to listen to because I don't fucking know what to say to anything. Okay, I'm going to say true because it says it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon, but it doesn't happen all the time. Like, but it's not like, oh my God, that's never happened. You know what I mean? Okay, I often feel very hot or cold towards my partner or family members. I tend to operate in extremes. I don't think so anymore, which is like a big fucking growth for me because I used to be very hot and cold. I think I can be a little bit hot and cold, but not like hot to cold to hot to cold, like actually unstable. Like I don't think I'm like that. Like I think I can be a little bit like a little shift towards hot or a little shift towards cold, like a mood change because I'm fucking human. But like I'm not going from the extremes. No, I wouldn't say so. And if I am, again, this is kind of what I've learned from my experience of being with different people and having different dynamics. If I am feeling like that, I'm not with the right person, you know? If I feel that fucking unstable, why, you know? Okay, next. I know that I'm worthy of a happy, healthy relationship. True, I do. Next, when I feel hurt by a loved one, I often have a strong fight or flight response. Why am I out of breath? I sat on the bed. Talking is exhausting. When I feel hurt by a loved one, I often have a strong fight or flight response. I find myself wanting to push this person as far away as possible. This could be friends, family. I don't know why it says that at the end of all of them. Like, just fucking say that once at the start. A strong fight or flight response. That's true. That is very true. I do, like I said, if I'm like really anxiously like hijacked, like in my body, I'm like fucking stressed or hurt or something. Like, yeah, I will fucking think that way. But give me an hour, like send me on a walk and then I'm fine. I just need to like calm down, you know? Like if I get really upset, it's like the worst time to try and get fucking logic out of me. And I feel like that's quite normal to be fair, but like I just need some time alone to kind of process and then I make so much more sense. Like I'm so fucking logical then, but I just can't. I can't when I'm like really sad, obviously. Okay, next. I do not feel as though I need anything from my romantic partner or loved ones. It can be difficult to conceptualize how others would meet a lot of my needs. Again, this is trying to pin me into the avoidant little hole, and I know that. I'm too aware of what it might say, so I'm like thinking about that as I'm answering it, which I need to not do, but it's obvious. I feel like, to be honest, that is false because I don't feel like I need nothing. Like, as much as I do believe I can be a self-sufficient person, and like, say if someone said to me right now, you're going to be single for the rest of your life, I know that I'd be fine. I know that I'd cope and I would live and I would give myself a happy life. I know I'm capable of, you know, giving myself a happy life, fulfilling myself, giving myself a life full of fucking stuff that I love and being really happy. I believe that 100%. I don't think I need a partner. But if I'm going to have a partner, yeah, I need stuff from them. If I'm going to have one, like I'm not going to fucking not need anything from them. What's the point, you know? So that's false. Okay, next. I do not enjoy being out of romantic relationships. I fear being alone. That's not true. I'm going to be honest. Being single, I enjoyed. Like I really don't see being single as a hardship at all. Like it's fucking so fun. As is being in a relationship, but like I don't know why people shit on being single. Like there's honestly nothing wrong with it, in my opinion. Okay, next. If a loved one's behavior hurts me, I will express my feelings and try to understand what caused them to act in that way. Fuck, this is something I'm not really that good at either. Okay, I'm just gonna say false, even though, like, again, like, I think I'm improving on that. I think if I'm hurt, my natural response isn't reflex, like, I'm gonna try and find out why they did that and what's going on with them. My reflex is like, thank you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just is. Okay. Maybe, again, once I'm like emotionally a bit more like calmed down, then maybe I'll give more of that fuck, you know? But I've already answered now because I, again, have to answer this at some point. Okay, next. I hunger for closeness, but I fear the emotional difficulty of it at the same time. That's true. That's true. I do. Like, I enjoy being close, but it is scary. It's not that extreme. Like, I don't, it's not like, oh, I can't do it. But yeah, it is like emotionally scary, sure. I do not like making social plans with others in advance. I often fear being trapped by commitments with other people. I used to feel like this. Now I'm very aware that I'm in control of what I do and I can cancel. So I'm going to say I'm probably not really like that anymore. I find that setting boundaries comes naturally to me. I'm not the worst at it. I've gained that skill. I'm definitely better at it. But I'm going to say no, it doesn't come naturally because I think I've had to really push myself to fucking be able to do it. It's not like they're really easy. So no, I focus more on the relationships in my life than I do on myself. Not true. I often feel protective over my space, privacy, and belongings. Definitely. I generally feel invaded when my partner or loved ones demand too much physical affection. Okay, that is true. That is true. This is why I think it might say I'm avoidant. I'm honestly not sure though. I'm not sure what it's going to say. I'm actually quite interested. If it ends and it's like, this is £20, I will cry. But yeah, physical affection, like I enjoy physical affection when I'm in the mood. That's the thing. Sometimes I'm really in the mood and I love it. And sometimes I'm just not. And that changes depending on factors. Do you know what I mean? If I'm really hot, get off me. If I'm really stressed or busy or I've got a lot on my mind, get off me. If you've annoyed me, get off me. Do you know what I mean? But like, if I'm like, all right, and I'm not fucking boiling hot, fine. But there are like fucking factors. Like some people are like constantly like wanting to be touched all the time. That's not me. I don't want to be constantly fucking touched like all the time. Like that's just like get off. Do you know what I mean? Okay, next. We're 79% of the way through, by the way. I reckon we've got like 6 questions left. Okay, I would prefer to spend most of my free time with my partner if I were to be in a romantic relationship. It would be hard for me to want to do things separately. Not true, obviously. I enjoy my alone time. I feel that it is easy to be vulnerable with my romantic partner or loved ones. False. I can't say true to that. After this entire time I've said being vulnerable is hard. I find that my partner or loved ones usually emotionally recover from conflict before I do. That's true. That is true. I do emotionally recover, but it does take me a minute sometimes. So I deeply fear being abandoned by my partner or love interests. Do I? I feel like I need to do some shadow work right now. Like, fucking do I? I don't know. Like obviously the thought of that is not nice. But am I going around fearing it all the time? No. Like, I wouldn't say it's like a really prominent issue. So probably not. I have previous knowledge of attachment theory. Why is it asking me that? True. How old are you? Okay, I think it's coming to a close. What is your gender? Fucking hell. Okay, I have to put in my email. I swear to God, if it makes me pay 1 penny. Right, let me fill this out and I will get back to you. Okay, the results are in. I am a fearful avoidant, as I fucking thought. As I guessed. Didn't I say that at the start? I bet I'm still avoidant because I know that that is the way that I sway. That is going to be my dominant attachment style. Even though like I can be other ones, that's definitely my main one. But the thing that I think sometimes is like these questions don't factor in a lot of other stuff. Like it's not factoring in the fact that I'm quite introverted and I need alone time. I feel like it's hearing, you want time alone? Oh my God, you must be avoidant. You know, when it's like actually like I could be, but I also could just enjoy my alone time and it not be coming from like some fucking trauma. Do you know what I mean? It could just be like a preference. But I'm not going to take it that seriously because this is a random fucking quiz I found online. I just kind of did it for fun. But let's read the little synopsis. So, being a fearful avoidant can make relationships feel chaotic and challenging despite your desire to connect with others. This fear leads you to swing from hot and cold when things become serious. That's just not true. You struggle with unexpected emotions and worry about abandonment and trusting others, but it doesn't have to be this way. It is possible to create the deep connection you want in your relationships without being exposed emotionally and losing your independence. Do I want to take the 7-day course? No, I do not. However, thank you for the quiz. Personaldevelopmentschool.com. It was all right. It was okay. I didn't love it, didn't hate it. But yeah, I would agree. I would say that I probably am avoidant. However, this is what I mean. That it's very generalized, as it would be from like a fucking internet quiz. But like saying that I'm swinging from hot and cold when things are becoming serious. Like, no, I'm not. Like, no, I wouldn't say I'm swinging from hot and cold ever. Like, I have done in the past, but I have not done that for like a long time, and I'm in a relationship now, so like it clearly isn't that fucking bad. I don't think it takes into like consideration how much of a spectrum this is, you know? However, yeah, we got the results we expected. So if you want to do this quiz, I'm going to leave it in the description. Let me know what you get. And yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for coming on this fun little quiz game with me. Hopefully this was interesting, or maybe as I was going along, you were thinking about your answers and like, what do I think about that? But to get your own answer, unfortunately, you have to fucking fill out the whole quiz yourself. It didn't take that long. It took me 42 minutes, but I was faffing around talking. Like, you're not going to be doing that. So it probably won't take that long. But yeah, thank you for listening. I'm going to go and make a veggie burger for dinner. I'm not remotely hungry at all. However, it's 6 o'clock, and I should probably make some food. Do you give a fuck? No, I barely even give a fuck, and I'm the one doing it. So thank you for listening. Thank you for checking in for a new episode, and I will talk to you next week.